Well, this is one of my prized possessions. I bought it in a junk shop when I was down in Bude about eight years ago, and I use it for practicing my guitar, and it's a fantastic little thing. Such a small box, gives such a good amount of pleasure. I use it because it's got, you put your guitar in and you can put your CD or your backing tracks in, and it's battery powered, and you can clip it onto the guitar strap with this clip, and then you've got a portable, with a travel electric guitar. You've got a portable practice studio, really. It's for practicing, because you know, I don't like to, when I'm on a deadline, I like to learn the songs. Hold on, let's move those robot's pubes out of the way. It's my solder potlet. Move that out of the way. Yeah, so anyway, Disaster, it is not responding. It's just completely died, and I don't know whether it's judging by the quality of the effects on it, it's surprisingly, I've run this, I've actually done a practice with this for my effects pedal power supply. There's a separate monoblock power supply on the Boss thing, and I forgot it, and all I had was this in my jacket, and I did a gig with this, and it wasn't bad, you know. You can just switch it over, and it's very basic rock, and it just gets progressively. It's such an easy thing to use, and it's such a good thing, and I'm quite upset it's not working. So I'm going to try and diagnose this and find out what's wrong, really. So I want to find out what's going on, because I'd like it to work. It's a good piece of kit, fantastic. If you've never tried it, I'll give you a demo at the end. So let me investigate for a bit, and I'll come back to you with my findings. Anyway, alright, okay, she's still not working. I've just put 4 fresh new. It takes some AAA batteries. I'll just put 4 in. No good. And when you plug that in, that light is supposed to come on. I just don't think it's working. Mind you, that's the tuner button, and that's the thing. Did it actually make a sound before? Did it have an indicator light on it? Hold for tuner. No, I think it's dead. I've tried it enough times, so it's just curious. I don't remember. Flat, sharp light comes on when the guitar. I might have to go and get a guitar, mightn't I, just to prove what I'm doing here isn't in somehow invalidated. Yeah, so let's take her apart and see what she's got inside, shall we? Let's not buggering around on the outside, let's get inside her. All this foreplay, engineer porn foreplay, is just too much. I need to find out what's going on. I have to buy another one, you know. I have to face it. If I can't repair this, I'm going to have to buy another one, because it's like the dog's been killed or something like that. That's how I feel. Just this, a pair of headphones and a guitar, and then you can rock with your phone as the MP3 backing track source. Oh look, she's quite complicated. Yeah, so there doesn't seem to be any beer, but surprisingly. They might have been completely deluged in beer at some point, slopping around drinking with this strapped to my guitar strap. You'd think it might have got deluged. In fact, I'm sure it got wet a couple of times, but there's no witness in that part of it. Let's have a look in here. I was hoping just a battery contact, as the battery door's fallen off. I was hoping just a battery contact or something has popped off. So there's my knobs dropping off now. Pull my knobs off. Shiny knobs. It's a lovely thing, isn't it? It's a lovely, lovely thing. Oh, look at that. So the battery connections go straight into this point here. Let's get some metal pointy things. And yeah, there appears to be, it's interesting, isn't there? There's a choke here and a couple of caps and a buck diode. So it appears to be a buck regulator type circuit, but is there a buck regulator? Oh, there it is, look there. So here, this little Johnny down there, that little Johnny down there is the buck regulator circuit, and I'm guessing that's the output drive transistor probably for the buck regulator, although I can't be sure. So it's nice that they actually, I'm presuming it's a stepper downer. They have invested in a little bit of technology to make the power conversion more efficient than just putting a linear regulator like a lot of them use. There's some pretty nasty looking soldering over here. See these, that joint and that joint are pretty nasty. They've been clinched and cut through, and that one there. What is that for? That's the guitar sockets have been chopped. So they've chomped the end of those off. And funny, they've chopped those, but much more neatly. So the question is, why is it not running, eh? Battery's still soldered on. I'd hope it just the wire dropped off or something. No corrosion down there, you know. It's shiny down the hill. There's no rotten batteries being left in. The battery life's not bad actually. I mean, you can get like 8 hours practicing out of a set, and it works quite well on rechargeables. So 4 MHz crystal tap tuner. That must be the reference for the tuner, mustn't it? Another inductor over here. 150 microhenries. That's unlike to be an audio filter, is it, that one there? Another inductor, look. And unpopulated headers, and a whole bunch of electrolytic capacitors. So there is an effects chip in here. What is that thing anyway? It's a DSP. It's a digital effects thing in your pocket. Look, it's got a DSP. I thought it might have, because it's got too many functions and it's too good. So let's power her up and see if she actually got any power going to her circuitry. Could be that she's just died completely and we're going to hold a funeral later on, but we'll see. Back in a minute, let's get some wires. Okay, so this plug's got 9 volts on it from my power supply on the bench, and interestingly most audio stuff has the barrels positive. Most convention is that the barrel's negative and the center hole is positive, but these audio stuff has the barrel positive and the pin negative on guitar and audio. I don't know why. And the other thing to be careful is don't ever plug a DC power supply or a grounded power supply into an effects pedal or something like that, because they usually use AC power supplies and they have to be isolated from ground. So if you get a ground loop somewhere else, it can just go up in smoke. I've seen that quite a bit of guitar gear where they plugged the wrong power supply in and they don't seem to be protected, and it just gets lots of smoke come out, and that's the end of the story really. So let's give her some power and see if she does anything. To make sure this pinhole in here isn't quite the right size for this, so it might not make contact. Okay. So no action, so let's pretend the guitar is plugged in. Which one's the guitar in? Just switch it on. I always get confused here. The guitar is the one next to the power socket, so let's plug my makeshift guitar into the hill. And just in case, I can't remember whether it just fires up when the headphones come on. Should remember that, shouldn't I? Where are we? Headphones, output to amp, CD MP3 in, so that one. So that should be all that's necessary to make this thing chooch. And she's not playing, is she? She's just not going at all. No lights, nobody's home. So let's check the power. Where's my trusty old meter gone? So I tidied it away because I couldn't move in here. Right, there we are. Oh, there goes my guitar capo. Oh dear. Right, so let's put her on volts and make it so you can see what's going on. Another one of these videos where I just get carried away and forget about you guys. I'm doing this anyway because I need to, I'm going on a little holiday, and thought of not learning the songs, and I get this anxiety complex about going to rehearsals, not having done my bit. So have we got any voltage going in? So let's turn her over. Actually at the moment it's going to be advantageous for us to cut those wires, I think. Cut the battery off and stop that thing flapping about. There we go. We discussed this. Someone's chomped my cutters actually. I'm sure it wasn't me. It wasn't me. Saw you slipping in the bedroom. Right, where we got to? So you can see what's going on in this fiasco. So you've got some connections here. You've got 9 volts coming in and the barrel is positive. Yep. So we've got positive barrel coming down to Which one's the ground wire then? Nope. That's the ground wire. That's the ground pin. So it comes down to here, down to this resistor, down there. So I zoom in a bit. You're not going to be able to enjoy the full benefits of this video otherwise, are you? So it comes down into, I bet this thing has got power. It's going into the switching transistor for the buck regulator, and then the regulation chip there. Hello. That must be ground. Yep. Oh, no power. Am I looking in the wrong place? Maybe I am. 8.93, 8.93. The ident on this chip, you can see it, it's RSU. RSU, it's an RC chip. So all these things here are supposed to be decouplers, aren't they? Look, there's no power. That's the best scenario, because the power's going to be by far the easiest thing to fix on this, I should think. No power. Big decouplers to make things all nice and quiet. So, there's a bit of something residual on there. We are on DC power, aren't we? Just shout if my head's in the way, won't you? I won't be able to hear you, but you can shout anyway. Get your bloody head out of the way. Right, hold on. There's not much going on, is there, boys and girls? Well, I'm pleased about that, because that means that I can probably fix it. Right, so what are we doing down here? There's a couple of diodes. There must be the diodes isolating the input in case somebody plugs her in the wrong way around. There's the buck, right? Buck. Buck inductor, the buck ductor. Make the scope on that, maybe, do you think? That'd be one possible thing to do, wouldn't it? Get the scope out. Now these must be grounded, these switches, mustn't they? No, they're not actually. They are not grounded. How about that? Or not on the 0 volt rail reference. I keep calling 0 volts on the negative rail and the general reference as ground, but really it's not the correct term, to be honest. No, there's no grounding there, but there is on that one though. There's not on that one either. What is there? Yes, there is. So I can use these, look, for reference for my scope. So let's poke around this inductor, see what we've got. Hopefully just the inductor open circuit, you never know. Stranger things have happened. No, that's just dead, isn't it? It's just dead, because we've got power there, look. And there's no power there. There's no power there, that's strange. Is it a high side switch then? No, it's dead. She's dead. So I've got to look up that RSU chip. RSU in heaven. RSU. Aero flop. Right, ground. There. 0.13 volts on the. There must be a reference feedback pin, or is it a fixed voltage one? We wonder. Nothing. Nothing. It's not a buck regulator, is it? It's a frigged regulator. The buck regulator is no working. Either that or there's a short on the secondary. What the voltage is supposed to be? Probably 3.3, do you think? Probably. No, nothing going in. Nothing going on. Nothing coming out. That goes to there, which... Is that grounded? Yeah, I've got 9 volts on there. Because the other alternative, this has got a shutdown on it, and one of these jack sockets is knackered. And the switching part sensing is not working. Now to me, just make sure the controls are turned up. It might have some sort of clever tiny leaky current thing going on one of these to make sure, because it does say off, but I think that means that on the case it says off. Look, not that case, this case it says off, but I think that's effects off. It's not fuck off. It's not the off, right? So where are we? Let's have a look. I'm going to have a look up the spec on this RSU chip and see which is if there's an inhibit pin and where the inhibit pin gets its feed from, and if the feed from the inhibit pin or the shutdown pin is actually working, i.e. when you plug a jack plug in you get some kind of signal back. Can't see any traces going back to this area from that side, so it must be on the top side. Must be on the top side, coming way over there somewhere. Way over there somewhere, I should think. So there's some coming round from over here. It can't be on all the time, can it? That's the thing. Something's got to power this up when you put the plug in, I should think. I can't remember. I've used it so many. I just plug it in and used it. I don't really notice what made it go and what made it stop, to be honest. But I'd love to make it go again. Guitar in, amp out. Well, nicely labelled actually. Battery tray. Alright, I'll do a bit of digging around and I'll come back to you when I've got some insight into what's going on. I need the data sheet for that chip to start with, so let's find that. Okie dokie, so I had a little bit of a poke around the guitar input socket, which is, which one it was now, guitar in, that one there. Basically they've got three connections on. They've got the tip, only for a minute, and they've got the barrel, and they've got a connection which shorts the barrel when the barrel is slid in. And in fact, if you put one of these plugs in, it doesn't work, because it's relying on the fact that this being a continuous piece of metal to actually power the unit up, and it goes through a circuit which is high impedance circuit, which basically turns on this transistor, which then connects through to this side of the board over here, way over here. There is the 2374A chip, and it's a buck regulator, and that's the one that provides the main power. If you look on the other side of the board where this chip is, you can see there's the coil and the reservoir capacitors. Presumably that's for providing the digital power. Clearly this thing's probably going to take the majority of the power will be consumed by the digital circuitry. And what has happened on this board is that this transistor here is blown. Okay, I'll look up the part number for you for that in a minute, because I can see that it's actually short circuit, and this chip is gone, I think. So I'm going to get a new chip for that and see whether it will go. What I might do actually is just connect the output of this to the power supply, just to make sure there's no overcurrent for any of these devices. Yeah, so it's that one and that one that's gone. So I'm just going to change those and we'll see if it works.